Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm gonna try to re-record this because my mic gain was up too loud the last time I recorded this. So what I want to talk about is something that I was talking about a couple years ago, and I kind of stopped making. I had been making any trucking videos because I mean I've been doing my own trucking stuff, so I probably should have been. I guess I could have been uh making videos throughout all my stuff too, but I was just like, let me just get my stuff figured out first because I'm a trucker first, and I make these videos secondarily. Uh, but what I want to talk about, we see Arnold is filing for Chapter 7 or bankruptcy liquidation. And y'all also know Raven is also doing the same thing down there at Jacksonville. And so I want to bring up something I talked about, sheesh, probably 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I think I probably made that video in 2022 when I made the video talking about, um, I think it was Knight Swift Transportation. They were talking about in their earnings call that they were selling trucks that they paid they didn't say how much they paid for the trucks, but they were selling trucks with the 300,000 or 400,000 miles on them for what they paid for them brand new. Okay, so they were selling trucks that they got to use for probably a year or two, and they were selling them for what they paid for them brand new. So they were selling these trucks into the height of the market strength as far as rates are concerned in trucking. So these two trucking companies, they're not the only ones because Heartland Express did it too. There's a couple other ones that were doing the same thing. And so the reason I'm kind of bringing this up is because you wouldn't find a fleet that if given that opportunity wouldn't have taken it. Okay, if you were given the opportunity to use a truck for free, basically for 2 years or a year and a half, and then sell it for what you paid for it, nobody in their right mind would have not done that. And so what I want to talk about is the psychology. Okay, because a lot of us in this business, we understand this already because we've been doing it for long enough. So this video is kind of aimed toward the people who aren't familiar with this, who haven't been in this business for a long time. And so what I want to talk about is the way you look at money and what you think is a lot of money versus what is not, a lot of money. And this is going to be the guys that have been doing this for a long time are going to probably chuckle when I say that. The guys that do heavy haul are going to laugh when I say that because I've heard these guys discuss things. I know brokers, right? And I've had conversations with brokers, right, where there was one situation where a guy he had a very large machine at a port, and they were arguing about a third. He had to sit on this load. Okay, the man that had the machine that had the trailer and everything, he had to sit on this load for almost a month to in order for the port and the shipper, the agent, the cross border and all that, for them to get their crap together enough to pay the stevedores what they needed to get paid and to work out a plan to move this machine. Okay, and so they negotiated something like, I think it was like $40,000. Okay, for this man to have to sit this three weeks at this port, and the man still wasn't happy with it. Which that's his prerogative. He doesn't have to be happy with it. But when I was talking to the agent or the broker, he was discussing how the truck was just sitting. So he had to pay for hotels and everything. I get that, but he sat for that much time. Plus, he already was getting a pretty good rate on the load anyway. So it was going to be this $40,000 or whatever it was on top of what the rate was to move the machine. So we're talking about something close to I think $60,000 to $70,000. All right, which is gonna sound astronomical to a lot of y'all, but if you're in heavy haul, it's not, because this is what this costs to the cost of using the machines and the equipment and everything. Most of these guys don't move their trucks unless they're getting at least $7, $8 a mile for some of the stuff that they're doing, depending on the axles and the all this stuff. They could be way more than that if they're talking about more complexity for the move. So I bring that story up, and I'm not gonna talk about the way it was resolved because it doesn't matter. It's just I bring it up because it shows you the differences in perspective. Okay, Some people are gonna say $40,000 for sitting somewhere for a month. Yeah, I'll take that. But he might be saying to himself, hell, I could have done, I could have moved a load, two loads, man, in that month period that might have paid me $30,000 a piece. So I could have made, $60,000 for that month. There's a lot of things in there, right, that we don't know. That we don't know what his operation was and how much money he could make in it. But it's hard to turn down $40,000 with no real effort other than sitting around, or being able to, I understand he wasn't just sitting around, but there's more to it. So this brings me to this, right? We're in this industry where at the time, 2 years ago, we were getting $3, $4 a mile for a lot of the stuff that was moving around out here. Okay. And people, I guess, thought it was going to go on forever. But guess who didn't? Your big fleets. Your Swift, your Knight, your Heartland Express. All these people were selling their equipment at the height of rate strength because they knew it wasn't going to last forever. Okay? And they found a market for it in people who did think it was going to last forever. I'm not casting stones. I'm not trying to say anybody's this or anybody's that. But all I'm trying to get y'all to understand is this is a market. This is a market. This is not a job. This is not... freight movement is a market. And it's beholden to market forces. So if you're in this business, there are things that don't seem like they're related to your business that are related to your business. Okay? So the war in Ukraine is directly related to your business. Because the war, they told you they were going to be sending diesel fuel over there, and they were going to increase the price of diesel fuel here to try to subsidize that war. Because they blew up one of the pipelines, and it's a lot of stuff going on there. That's going to affect the trucking business, okay? Because your fuel price is going to go up. Inflation, that's going to affect trucking, because the price of everything starts going up. Supply chain issues, that affects trucking because you might not be able to get parts and stuff like that you need for your trucks. Okay, so all I'm trying to say, and as we're in this now, a lot of y'all are starting to see it. This business is beholden to a lot of external market forces, and we have to pay attention to all this stuff if we hope to be successful in this business. Okay, so with that being said, what I want to kind of talk about now are lanes. And I want to talk about the way lanes are structured. I'm trying to get this video done, man. Daggone it. It's already going on 8 minutes. I might have to make another one. I might make another one. So anyway, let me just sum this up. When you're doing this stuff, when you're in this business, you can look at what the large carriers do. And you can kind of see why they do it. It's because they have to make sure they can continue to be a going concern. Okay, because they're publicly held. They have to make a profit. They have to make a profit every year. Or if they don't, they start their stock sells off and so on and so forth. In what was going on in the roaring 2022s and 2021s, or all those pandemic years, they knew it wasn't going to last forever, which is why they didn't mind shrinking their fleets. Okay, and right now we're in the back end of that, where truck prices are starting to come down because the demand for equipment is coming down. So don't put yourself in a position where either one that's holding the bag when, all this stuff flips the other way. Think ahead a little bit in whatever you're doing so you kind of can say, okay, you can sell everything out, man, and buy right back into this market. Okay? You can do that. That's the way this game works. If you feel like, hey, man, I got my truck for a good price and I sold it at the heyday and I got double the money I paid for it, hey, sit back for a little bit. Go drive a company truck. Drive one of your buddy's trucks or something like that, and then come back when the prices start correcting and you get back into business again. But just think about it that way. Think about this as a market. And also for you new guys, talk to the older guys. Okay? I know Some of the guys might be a little crotchety, so on and so forth. They might not be easy to talk to, but man, most of these dudes you talk to them, man, they are a wealth of information and knowledge. Talk to guys that have been in this business for a long time, that have been successful in it, that have had staying power, and talk to them, and they'll tell you a lot of the game and how this stuff goes, man. You know, so just talk to these guys and pay attention to what they say, and you can learn from them. All right. I want to make another video here in a minute talking about these freight lanes and how I think some of this stuff's about to restructure itself and it's going to change based on what I see going on with some of these companies going out of business. So uh, that's this one. No, that's a little 10 minutes. That's enough. I'll make the next one be about the same length. Y'all take care.